Hey, it's Ryan with QLZ. We are keeping the interviews flying throughout this week. And Cam, you and I have been catching up here for about the last 10 minutes. You are the front man of a band called Veio out in Oregon. You and I haven't talked in about 3 years, man. It's good to see you. And dude, that stash is impeccable, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. Thanks for having me back. Like you said, it's been a while. We had kind of a weird thing in the world going on in between now and then, but we're back at it. So everybody's back at it and feeling good, and the world is a good place.
Yeah, I love it. So I know you're at work right now. That's what I think,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna be on the Artist Spotlight on Monday. And I think that's what a lot of people maybe don't realize about a lot of up and coming musicians, up and coming bands. Like a lot of you have day jobs. You got 9 to 5s or whatever you're working. And a lot of you are so passionate about rock, and it's like, hey, we got to find time to tour, and we play on weekends and be road warriors on weekends, things like that. So what do you do for a living? Well, outside of, fronting a band?
Yeah, the funny thing is, even a lot of guys that have really big bands have normal jobs when they go home just for something to do. Because sometimes I found that in between tour and things like that, you're just kind of downtime, sitting at home. If you don't have a full-time family kind of deals, a lot of guys choose to work, and that's unfortunately we're not a big enough band to be able to just ride it out in between things. So what I do is I work in a firearms shop out here. Actually,
Okay.
we have a retail component, but we also specialize in a lot of training. We do safety training. We do hunter safety for youth. We really try to embody, the responsibility and just magnitude that it comes with owning and using firearms, whether that's for hunting or any other purposes for fun. And so we really specialize in a lot of training type situations as well. Women's self-defense courses, CPR and rescue courses, things like that. So we're kind of an all-embodied thing with that kind of world.
That's awesome. Well, if I get to get out to Portland, man, I'm going to come see you guys out there and check out the shop and everything else. If I make it.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm actually in our podcast studio right now. As you can see, we got the microphone set up and the backdrop here and everything like that. So.
Dude, I love it. So again, man, Veio, you guys are back with a new single called Terminal. You guys have my last gig, and I were catching up, and so everybody in Springfield here knows a little bit of what you guys have been up to. You guys have a couple albums out. Flare of Defiance was a top 40 song on Media-Based chart. You guys have had some success with that. You've covered Filters, Hey Man, Nice Shot, some other singles out there as well. But you guys went dark for a little while. I think probably like earlier on this year, and really just kind of looked like you scrubbed the social medias clean and kind of and all that. So kind of what was your guys' reasoning behind that and the purpose of it?
Yeah, that was just the process behind that was just kind of like, with the whole pandemic going on. And like you said, Flare of Defiance and even Hey Man, Nice Shot we released early on. Actually, the record that Flare of Defiance was on was slotted to come out like right as the pandemic was breaking and everything like that. And we put it off for a few months just to kind of see what would happen in the world since everybody was so unsure of what was going on at that time. And we ended up releasing it in June of 2020. And then just the way the world was, just we weren't able to get out and tour to promote and support it. We weren't able to do a whole lot. And, a band of our size that really hurt us a lot. So we just kind of decided, the world's coming out of this crazy time for the last few years. And there's going to be a lot of new music coming out, maybe represent ourselves as artists as well, and just kind of come out with a new, fresh feel to things. It wasn't necessarily like we're trying to scrub our past at all. We just wanted to kind of have a restart and a regeneration, and just even for our own well-being and from our own perspective, we just wanted to be like, hey, you know what? This is a tough time for us the last few years. So let's just get started, hop on a new foot and get running,
No, I like that. And I don't know how big of a sports fan you are, or NFL fan. Apparently it became a tactic of guys like Kyler Murray and things like that of scrubbing their entire social media clean as a contract tactic of, I'm not going to have anything associated with my team anymore. So I'm glad, you guys didn't go that far with it.
Yeah. Didn't go that far, but we're trying to move forward in a new light while still, we've got a lot of time in with this band and a lot of good memories and stuff too. So we're keeping those, but trying to move forward, with a fresh perspective on things too.
No, I love it. And again, that new single out right now, it's called Terminal. You mentioned Morning Music is on the way, which definitely want to ask you about as well. It's going to be on the Artist Spotlight. It's a feature I know that you're familiar with when we did it my last gig So for those of us here in Illinois on Monday the 17th, 8:30 in the morning. So out west, a little bit of a wake up. So you can wake up and turn you guys on at 6:30 in the morning, and you'll hear Terminal. So Cam, what can you tell me about the song, man? Kind of maybe what inspired it, or maybe even why was this song the first one that you guys released, kind of coming out of this cleansing and kind of moving forward?
Yeah, so recently we've been working with our producer, who we've always worked with for the last, several years, for the last record as well, Stephen Hawks. He's based out of LA now. And then we've also started working with a new producer, Kyle Odell. He's out of Nashville. I've been down there a couple times for extended periods of time working with him. And so with all this new music, we just kind of wanted to go with a feel that was, I don't know how to say it necessarily. We wanted to come out with a feel that was just a little fresher to the times, a little more a new perspective for us as artists. And so working with Kyle, Terminal was one of the first of 4 tracks we did with him. And we just decided out of that first 4, that batch of 4, that was the one we wanted to go with as far as just it was our favorite as artists. It was kind of like the freshest feel for us as artists. It kind of differentiates from our sound from before. And so we went with that one because we thought it was, really listenable and really singable for people. The inspiration kind of comes from, a relatable topic of a lot of people that tend to come from bad families, families to where, you grow up in a rough house, or, you come from a broken home type deal. And that's kind of where the inspiration for this song came from.
Cool. That's awesome. And I know there's a couple bands out there that have put some songs out like that recently. And they're like, man, the fan reaction to, what we've heard from fans being like, man, it's so great to have a song that's relatable, or what I went through. And you find out that, it's a lot more common, some of these things that people go through, than what you realize. Is that kind of been the case for you guys, or kind of what's the fan reaction been with that?
Yeah, so we just released it like a little over a week ago, and the fan reaction has been like astronomical so far. Like as where we're at as a band, this has been by far the largest reaction we've had. It's been nothing but positive reviews from friends, family, fans out there on socials, anything like that. And yeah, we're just trying to get it out to as many people as possible through streaming and the visualizer video we have on YouTube for it, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just kind of trying to keep the momentum going and keep Terminal rolling.
I love it. And again, it's a good song. It's why we're playing it here on QLZ as well. We're going to be spinning it on Monday. If it wasn't good, I wouldn't be playing it, but it's another good track from you guys. There's some good screaming parts from you on there, kind of getting some good anger sounding in there. I love it too.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned this was your guys' favorite out of the 4, that you recorded back in LA. So there's a lot more music on the way. So what do you guys want to do with this batch of music? It's this question for me has become so much more generalized now, because not everybody is doing albums. Everybody's doing, some people are doing singles. Some, are like, hey, we still want to do a record. We still want to do an EP. Others are like, oh, let's just release, a single every 4 months or 3 months, or some bands are like every 3 weeks we're releasing something, and then eventually we'll put it on a physical copy. So what do you guys want to do with all this music?
So we don't have really a specific release plan right now. We will get an album out at some point, but as of now, between Stefan in LA and Kyle in Nashville, we have a total of probably 15, 16, 17 finished tracks, with a ton more ideas that we want to work on in the near future. And I'm going to be headed back to Nashville sometime relatively soon to work on even more tracks. So we're going to have a handful to choose from. And I think what we're going to do for now is, like I said, in the end goal is to do a full album, because that's what people really like, I think, still to this day. Like, I'm an album guy. People traditionally have been album people. But I think right now we're just going to be releasing single after single for a little bit, and just seeing how it reacts, and seeing what kind of noise we can make with that, and hopefully get out on the road with doing that, and come see everybody that supports us and that really digs our music.
That'd be awesome. It'd be great if you guys could make it out here in the Midwest. I know you guys have done some Midwest runs in the past with some things. It'd be great to have you out. There's a question I want to ask you in just a little bit, but first I want to ask you about, releasing some singles. I know you're an album guy. I still love buying CDs. I still have a CD player in my car.
Yeah.
Whenever, I don't really buy digital singles very often. If there's something I need here for the station, or it's like we're doing a certain theme thing, like, okay, I'll buy it, if I don't have it already. Do you kind of like, though, is it like looking in a positive way? Do you like being able to kind of release some singles and give each song maybe a little bit more attention than maybe what you could with an album release like right away?
Yeah, honestly, I've never really done it like this before personally, and I'm kind of liking it so far because it's just a different perspective. You know, it's kind of like a new way. Like a lot of big pop artists and things like that don't even release albums anymore. They just release single after single after single. You know, and not that we're trying to necessarily do anything like that specifically, but it's just one of those things. It's a fresh perspective. It kind of, like you said, gives each single, each track its own time to breathe, its own time to get out there and for people to really, have it sink in with people and everything like that. And it's kind of cool that we kind of get to pick and choose which ones we want to release after which time, rather than having everything out and then choosing to push one or this one or that one kind of deal. So I'm kind of liking it so far. I think we've got a great batch of songs. I think probably our strongest batch of songs we've ever done, as far as just a general consensus of listenability and just quality of songs. The riffs are awesome. A lot of the new feel that we're putting into our music it's really come together and really kind of taken shape in what we wanted and how we wanted it to with this batch of songs. So I'm really psyched about it, and I'm really liking doing the single thing.
Awesome. Love it. You mentioned albums as well, and it's a question. I can't remember if I had you guys do this or not for me back my last gig in Wausau or not. I did something for a little while called, asking, it's called Favorite Fives. I was asking people like their favorite complete albums, like from start to finish, songs that you don't skip any songs on it. It's one I was like, instead of maybe having people write stuff down, I'll start asking this as a question whenever I sit down and interview somebody. So started it this week. Cam, you're only the third guy I'm asking it to in an interview. So, man, your favorite complete albums, can you think of some off the top of your head or?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, one is kind of a little known, people know about it, but it's more of a little known album by a band called Carnival. They're from Australia, and their album called Sound Awake from 2009 is an absolute all-time epic for me. Carnival, Sound Awake, Alice in Chains, Dirt. Love Alice in Chains. They're one of my favorite of all time. Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue, the first album they did with the new vocalist after they got back together after Lane. Lateralis and Anima from Tool. Those two are heavy hitters for me. They're huge inspirations for me. 16 Stone from Bush is huge for me. Kill 'Em All from Metallica, the original, the OG Metallica record. That's my favorite one of theirs. What's some newer stuff? That's really a heavy hitter for me? I like a lot of Australian bands right now. North Lane, Caligula's Horse, Pliny. He's an instrumental guitar player. Love his stuff. So a lot of those records I'm jamming right now from start to finish. So I like a lot of classics. I like a lot of newer stuff too. It's kind of a mix for me. But yeah.
I love it. Well, you're a few hours closer to Australia than I am here as well. Maybe
yeah, we're a couple.
Yeah, have you been there?
Never been to Australia. Not yet. Nope.
No.
We would love to get down there though, because there's as far as the rock scene goes, the rock and metal scene down there, it's like thriving more than anywhere else. I feel like, and so I'd love to get down there at some point because those bands are awesome. I've met a handful of them too. And just, it would be great to get down under for sure.
Awesome. I know that's one of the places on my bucket list of countries to go visit and everything else. So again, Veio, the artist spotlight on Monday. You're going to have the brand new song called Terminal, 8:30 for us here in Central Time. Going to be 6:30 out in the Pacific Time for you guys. So Cam, dude, it was great to see you, man. I'm excited for what you guys are going to be releasing. It sounds like it's going to be a couple month process for all the new singles and stuff like that. So where can we follow you guys on the socials and stay up to date with everything?
Socials, we're just at Veio Music. Instagram, we're just starting up a TikTok now. We got to get on that trend. Facebook and everything like that. On Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all those things. We're just under Veio, Veio. Just check out Terminal. We're really happy with how it's going so far. We think people are going to like it, and the more people listen to us, the more people check out our stuff. We're going to get out on tour to play for you guys, and that's our main goal and what we really want to do. So, just Veio Music everywhere, and hopefully you guys dig and you'll give us a listen.
Awesome, Cam. I appreciate it, man. Great catching up with you.
Ryan, thanks, man. Appreciate it as always.